So we'll start on our feet. We'll start with the sun salutation again. So we start breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth, in through the nose, out through the mouth. And we'll start with mountain pose. So this is mountain. And what we'll do is we'll step back with your right foot into a lunge. Hands down. Step your other foot back. Now you're in high plank. So feel like you should have a straight line from your heels to the top of your head. And go into downward dog. So pike at the hips. Tuck your head. Flatten out the back. Come back into the high plank. Step the right foot forward. Left foot forward. Breathe in through the nose, out through the mouth. And let's step our left foot back. Hands down. Right foot goes back. You're back into high plank. Center yourself and then go to downward dog. Back to high plank. Step that left foot forward. Come up. Right foot forward. Breathe in and out. So that's our warm-up. So our first sequence, we are going to go into the warrior poses again. So we did this last time. There'll be a couple little changes to it, but we'll start in a lunge position. So both feet facing forward, toes facing forward. And so we'll drop into that warrior one pose. And then from here, we're pressing up onto our right leg as the stabilizing leg. And we are going to go into warrior three. So here, find your balance. Ideally, your head and your leg are parallel to the floor. Hold this for 5 breaths. If you need arms out for stability, that's fine. So we'll come back into warrior one. Find your center. And back up. So you should feel it in your glute of your non-stabilizing leg. You're squeezing that glute to keep your leg up, but you should also feel it pretty much entirely up your leg of your stabilizing leg, in your calf, in your hamstrings, in your quads. Your knee is not locked, it's soft, and so you're actively working to keep stable. And let's go back into warrior one. Find your balance. And we'll go into that one more time. Back into warrior one. Find your balance, and we're going to do 8 lunges. So just straight up and down. Center your weight. Again, you don't want to have your front knee going past your toes. On your back foot, your heel is up. And come together, shake it out. And then we'll go for the other leg. So step forward with your left leg this time. Find your balance in that lunge. Again, toes facing forward, check your toes. Get into a bit of a deeper lunge and up into warrior 3. If you're having trouble with your balance, it sometimes helps to look slightly ahead, where a wall meets the floor, or just a point on the floor that you can focus on that's 6 to 10 feet ahead of you. And if you lose your balance, that's fine. Just come back when you're able to. So balance yourself again, go up. It's the second time. And back. Find that pose. And last time. And back into warrior 1. Find your balance, check your toes. And we're going into 8 lunges. So back knee is dropping almost to the floor, but not necessarily touching. You're not locking your front knee on the top. Okay, and we're going to go back up to warrior 3 one more time, and when we come down, we're going to go into warrior 2. So that's with your front, the stabilizing leg. The toes are still pointing forwards. The back leg, the toes are pointing towards the side, perpendicular. Front leg bent, back leg is straight. So find your position here. Your front shin should be about vertical. And I'll just go at an angle just so you can see. Feel like this. Arms outstretched, eyes looking down the plane of your arm. And from here we're going to do an extended angle. So we did this last time. Elbow inside your knee, facing up. Keep your eyes up on that raised arm. So I'm not actually resting on my knee here. The deeper you go, the harder it will be. So this will be easier. This will be harder. And bring it back up to warrior 2. Bring those hands together and rotate towards the front knee. And back to warrior 2. Now drop that back hand onto your back thigh, and we're gonna slide it slowly down Feel that stretch in the obliques, in the lats, and back. And then straighten up this front leg a little bit and do the same here. This is into your triangle. And back to warrior 2, sorry. So get that bend in the front leg again. So mostly you should be feeling it in this bent leg here. And we'll do that whole sequence again. So back to extended angle. Back to warrior 2. Prayers to the side. And back. Slide that hand down the back leg. You're not putting pressure on that knee at all, you're just using that to center your balance. And back. Straighten up that front leg slightly. And again, slide down. And step together. So let's start again then. Right leg forward. And let's pivot into warrior 3. So that back leg is turned then 90 degrees. Weight over the front foot. Arms extended. Let's go for that extended angle. Knee or elbow inside knee. Back to warrior 2. Prayers to the side. Stretch that upper back. And back. Slide that hand down the back leg. Reverse warrior. And down the front. Find your warrior 2 again, and we'll do it one more time. Reverse. Straighten up that leg into triangle. Back into warrior 2. And let's pivot. Back into warrior 1. And step together. Shake them out, take a drink if you need. So the next sequence is going to be a plank sequence. So we'll kind of start like we did that sun salutation. Breathe in, out through your mouth. Fold forward. Let's walk those hands out. into a high plank. So you're in one line from your head down to your toes. We're going to go down into 3 push-ups. And then we're going to, on the way up, come into up dog. So here your hips should not be resting on the ground. You should still be bracing your core and keeping that lower back safe. And then let's shift your weight back into downward dog. And then back into high plank where we started. And this is a new part. We're going to go up into a side plank. So just rotate onto one arm. If this is too hard on your wrist, you can do this from your elbow. We'll hold this for 5 breaths. Try not to let your hips sag. Back to high plank, and we'll rotate to the other side. So your supporting arm, the elbow is not locked, it's slightly soft. Back into high plank. And let's do it again, so 3 push-ups. And this time on the way up, come into upward dog. So your feet are still on your toes, just kind of on the balls of your feet. And then we'll go into downward dog. Back to high plank. And we'll go into those side planks. High plank, and other side. Can you do it once more? Back to high plank. Push-ups. And up to upward dog. And back to downward dog. Back to high plank. And this will be the last set of these. Really brace your core here. Keep your hips from sagging. And back to the other side. Back into high plank. Drop those knees. Let's go into child's pose. So really stretch out those shoulders, pull back. Let's come into dog pose. So your hands and knees, hands between shoulder or underneath shoulders, knees between hips or underneath hips, sorry. And so we're going to go into a cat and dog stretch. So cat, tucking that head under and you're arching the back. And dog, you're swagging that back, looking upwards. And back to cat. And dog. And back to neutral. Find your balance here, and so what we're going to do is a bird dog reach to thread the needle. So we did, I believe, both of these last time, but not in sequence. So what we're going to do is you lift your right hand or your left hand up while simultaneously lifting your right leg so that they're about parallel to the floor, and then back down. Rather than touching down, or when you touch down, bring your left hand underneath and thread the needle. So that's one. So really stretch out that upper back when you do the thread the needle. And you should be working your stabilizing arm just a bit on that thread the needle as you drop down. It's like a mini one-handed push-up. Just one more. And back to base. So then we'll just do the other side. I'm just gonna rotate a bit so you can see a different angle in case you have any questions about anything. So here we're extending our right arm and our left leg. And down. Touch down that left knee and come underneath. Try as much as possible to get that leg up using your glute and not your lower back. If you feel your lower back is arching, then just stop there. It's perfectly fine to just bring your leg here. Two more. Last one. And sit back into child's pose. Okay, so for this last sequence, we'll be on the floor. So for this one, you need to have your hips stacked. So by stacked, I mean this hip bone is exactly on top of the bottom hip bone. So you're not angling up towards the ceiling or angling down towards the ground. For these ones, what I like to do is put my shoulder down and kind of rest my head on my arm a bit. Have my arm straight out. So we're going to do two different leg lifts. So we're going to work the outside, the glute a bit, and then we're going to work the inner thigh. So we're going to start with the inner thigh. So what you do, it looks kind of awkward, but what you do is you cross that leg over in front, and what you do is you brace your core and you're lifting that bottom leg up off the floor. It's not a large movement, but you're simply pulling your heel off the floor, and so you should be feeling it in your inner thigh. Often I end up working my glutes, but I don't work my inner thighs nearly enough. So let's see if we can get 8 reps of that. Again, making sure your hips are stacked. The reason I have my leg out like this in front is because it helps keep my hips stacked. If you're going like this, you have a tendency to open up to the ceiling. So once you've done 8, you can stack those legs. And we're just going to lift then the top leg. So you're working your glute on your top leg. And so you want to think about leading with your heel, not your toe. So you're just going straight up. Really squeeze that glute. And then I've got one more. This is actually for the upper body. It's a 1-arm push-up. So from here, all you're doing, you can either put your hand over top or underneath this arm, and you're just lifting your torso off the floor. I prefer to do it this way. So you're bracing your core, you're just hinging at your hip. Again, it's not a very large movement, but you should definitely feel it in your pec right here. So that's 8 of that. So let's do that whole sequence again. So the inner thighs, you're bringing that other leg in front and you're just lifting that bottom leg. Check that your hips are stacked, and we'll do the top leg. And then back to those push-ups. Okay, so that's that side. We just have to do the other side now. So flip over. I'm gonna twist my mat around. Okay, so we're doing those inner thigh lifts. So leg up, and you're doing. Those legs together, stack those hips, check that you're not tilting one way or the other, and lead with your heel. And then that push up. So again, you can place your hand here or here, whatever you feel is more comfortable. You're kind of hinging at the hips. Round 2, inner thigh. And stack them. Push-ups, last set. Okay, roll onto your back. We'll just do one quick set of those ab rolls that we did last time to finish things off. So you're lying straight like this, and what you're doing is you're rolling up one vertebrae at a time, starting at your neck. And as far as you can go, keeping your abs tense. Don't let them relax. If you're having trouble with that sticking point right about there, feel free to use your hands and just gently help yourself up or down. If you want to add intensity, you can bend your legs and it will shorten the lever and make it a little bit harder. Let's go for 2 more. Last one. Put your arms overhead. Stretch those abs. And you are done. So that's today's class.